Hey, yeah, it's Shay from Shay Empyrean, and this will be the next video in this Claire series. So I'm trying to charge through them as much as possible at this time while I've got the time. So there was something I forgot to mention in the clairaudience video is the fact that as you fine tune your clairaudience, okay, as you develop that more and more and build it, excuse me, as it gets stronger and stronger, this also assists in having that open channel, okay, with your higher self and your team as well, okay. Excuse me. This is where you really start to have conversations with them, okay. This lighting in here, honestly. But yeah, this is where you really start to have those conversations and really listen more, what's that word, closely. You're able to get more of a, accurate, receive information accurately, thank you. Yeah, so basically this is where you start to really just have that conversation and that open line with both your higher self and your team, okay. And it really helps to assist you as you move forward and as you push through your ascension process, because they will guide you more easily through where you need to go. Can we detach from that, please? Thank you. Excuse me. I'm seeing all sorts at the moment. But yeah, so this is where you will see me have conversations with mine, and constantly through my videos, okay. You will get to that point too, okay. If you haven't already, you will get there, okay. And look, it's all inclusive with everything else, with all the other abilities as well, okay. Excuse me. The other thing I needed to mention, for those of you who are clairsentient, you may have also felt needles, okay. This is just as much a part of the torture and slavery timelines as it is other timelines, okay. Needles kind of run through many different timelines that we need to clear, okay. Excuse me. Yeah, so needles have been coming through a fair bit. In fact, I just had needles come into my neck just before, as I was preparing to do this video. It does feel a bit full on, especially if you're if you personally have a fear of needles, okay, and you start feeling that in your body clairsentiently. And look, it's one way to clear those energies. Excuse me. And to face that fear as well. And look, if you are starting to feel needles and you do actually have a fear of needles, you will also be pushed through a purge, okay, just so that you can really face that one head on and then be able to detach from it, from your fear of needles every time you feel the needle energies come in, okay. Because you need to, okay. We need to detach from all these things so that we don't so that we don't get over emotional when we're supposed to be clearing those energies and things like that, okay. And doing, thank you, the work that we're meant to be doing. And the other thing that you may have felt, which I also did feel just before and have been over the weekend, excuse me, is when you go, for those of you who know, when you go to the doctors and they go to take your blood, okay, some of you may have felt that strap that they put on just below, somewhere around here on your arm, and then they take the blood out from around this area here on your arm. But you may feel that strap. Okay, I have felt that over the weekend, feeling that strap tighten, and then feeling the needle go in and pull blood out and whatever, and all the rest of it. And when they attach tubes, and why not, right? And look, for any of you who are feeling tubes on a different level, there is also, for some of you, you may be feeling tubes going down your throat, going into your body in other parts as well. Excuse me. I have to mention it because this is what I've been picking up on as well. Okay, some of you may feel like you got a hand that's opening, it's pressing against your chin and opening your mouth like and then might feel a tube go into your mouth and down your throat. It is graphic, I know, but that is the reality of the energies that we are clearing. Okay, that's one that did come through a lot for me. Okay, and now it's still coming through, and it's a pain in the ass. It really is. Excuse me, especially if you're feeling the tube go down your throat. Okay, it gets a little bit intense, but usually when I feel this energy playing out, usually I will feel that pinch on my chin, like they're opening my mouth and then they're gonna stick the tube in. But yeah, some of you may have been feeling that as well, because I have been feeling it on your behalf also. But yeah, look, some of these energies that are playing out at the moment, because it's torture and slavery and all that, it's all across all time, space, realities. Okay, it's existed for a very long time, and excuse me, this is why we are picking up on this stuff. Okay, why it's coming through to us, so that we can clear these energies and be done with them. Okay, but yeah, so some of you are feeling all that stuff, and it is a bit full on. What am I feeling? There is a needle in my arm. There is. Speaking of which, yeah, the strap is on, and I'm probably about to feel another needle go into my arm. What are you showing me? It's part of this is part of the mechanical modification timelines. Okay, this is one that I had personally worked on clearing last year, and I've mentioned before, I felt like mechanical appendages attached to me. This is where I'd feel drills going into my flesh and bolts going in, and screws and whatnot as they're attaching. I think I was mostly feeling the mechanical arm, but I have felt other things with the head and stuff as well. Okay, thank you. I have felt something being attached to my head. Some of you may have felt that. It felt mechanical, and then I was shown. Okay, it's like a... It's like a... What is it? Like one of those head things that go around your head and holds you in place. So this is probably... Thank you, it is. Excuse me. So this will be part of the timelines where you're getting strapped into a chair. Okay, you would have felt the straps going around your legs, your arms, thank you, your ankles as well, and also your head. So you're getting strapped right back into that chair, and that's where that head, what would you even call that? Is it a head clasp or something of the sort? Oh wow, the lighting just went. That was really cool. But yeah, so it's... What is that? Clamp. Thank you. Clamp. Ugh. I think I liked clasp. Excuse me. But yeah, clamp. It's like your head's being clamped into a chair and all the rest of you. Okay, I'm also seeing your chest being clamped in as well. So there's a strap here that's going around underneath your arms as well, if you're feeling that. And this is, yeah, this could be from anywhere. This could be a torture timeline. This could also be, I mean, most of it's torture anyway. But this could also be from the mechanical modifications timeline, because a lot of those strapping in energies did come through for me, myself, last year, as I was getting things attached to me, mechanical appendages. So, yeah. Please do your best to stay grounded as you're dealing with all these energies, for those of you who are highly clairsentient and picking up on all this stuff, okay? Whatever it is that you are guided to do to stay grounded, please follow through with that guidance and do that, okay? There is a lot coming through currently that has to be cleared, so we're right in the thick of it. Unfortunately, but it's not a bad thing, because as soon as it's done, we can keep going, okay, and catapult forward more and more, okay. Sorry, I'm talking to my cup. Okay, so this video is Clairempath, okay. So this is where it is so incredibly broad in itself, okay. And look, there is so much information out there about the empath and all that stuff. Clairempath is more technical name for that ability, okay. And excuse me. So this is where you energetically pick up on other people's emotions, okay. It is an emotional energy that you receive, okay. And thank you, I do need to point out that some people who have shared information about empaths, bless them, have also mentioned that you sorry, I'm getting triggered by my hair. Some of them have mentioned that you will feel in your body what others are feeling, and then they will call that being the empath, part of being the empath, when it's actually not. That is clairsentience that is coming through when you're feeling things in your body, okay, as I've spoken of before. That is clairsentience. Anything that feels physical, that you are wearing of somebody else's, any aches and pains in your body that is somebody else's, it's physical, okay, so therefore it is clairsentient. And you know, with Clairempathy you get me to do these videos with all these tongue twisters, honestly. But yeah, with Clairempathy, that is emotional stuff, okay. This is wearing other people's emotions, and depending on how high your Clairempathy is, you could be, if somebody's sad, okay, and they're upset and they're crying, you could just suddenly be upset, sad and crying as well, if you are open to receive their energy, okay. And look, you know, with Clairempathy, this is that fine example of walking into a room that's got many people in it, excuse me, and you can feel all different emotions, okay, all sorts of emotions that is running through each person, okay, and you can feel that within your body. And you know, look, how this presents is sometimes you will just go through a range, okay, of different emotions on the emotional spectrum, depending on who's feeling what. Excuse me. I have to get this stuff done, and I'm going to cough all the way through. What else is new, right? But yeah, so this is very much like clairsentience. With clairempathy, you need to discern the difference, okay? What is mine and what is theirs, okay? This is where you really need to kind of fine tune, okay? And you really need to feel into it and realize what's yours and what isn't yours, okay? Because this is how you're going to develop a way to detach from other people's stuff as well, okay? You know, it is unfortunate with clairempathy that, excuse me, with clairempathy, if you do not learn to discern the difference between what's yours and what's others, and you do not learn to detach from other people's emotions, what ends up happening is you become a sponge, basically, and you wear everybody's stuff, okay? And look, much the same as clairsentience, with clairempathy, when you're a sponge and you're wearing everybody else's stuff, okay, it drains you very, very quickly, okay, because this is emotional stuff, okay? And because people go through such a different range of emotions, you know, it can get a bit full on for you yourself, okay, to have to deal with that, because you're open to that. You literally are a sponge that is open to all that stuff around you. And look, what you'll find with clairempaths is that they they like isolation and they prefer isolation, okay? Definitely one of those. It's easier that way, because then, you know, I don't have to deal with other people's stuff. I don't have to feel it all and all that crazy shitty energy. And look, for myself personally, like I do my best to stay away from crowds and crowded places. You know, over the years when I've been intoxicated and incredibly drunk, that's different, because I've numbed my senses to whatever degree. Excuse me. But you know, look, once I really started this fast track portion of my ascension process, I've been keenly aware, okay, very keenly aware of everything and everybody's stuff. And just feeling it come at me left, right and center, and it's just, I can't do this. I can't be around big crowds, you know, unless I'm in a state of detachment, okay? And I have to, you know, I have to make myself conscious of that, and you know, state that intention, basically, that I'm going to be detached from all of this, because I want to be at whatever particular place and enjoy what that outing is, per se. Excuse me. But look, you know, generally speaking, crowds overwhelm me, and this is like a #1 trait of clairempaths, okay? They're just, no, I'm not going anywhere near people. There's too many people out there in the world. I'm just going to stay in here where it's safe, and it's just my energy. It is. That's essentially how it is. You know, and this is, again, another one of those abilities that I've had on since forever, and I isolated myself a lot because of having my abilities on, and it was just easier for me to deal with society that way. I could just not be a part of it, and you know, it's a little hard when your parents want to go here and there for outings and whatnot, and you have to go. Excuse me, grounding please. Just casually on fire again. This is getting beyond the joke. It honestly is. Whatever. excuse me, is what it is. And this is where Slurpees and frozen drinks come in really handy when you're working through fire timelines. You know, it really cools you down. My friend's laughing, I can hear you. Hey. Yeah, I mean, look, whatever with the fire, whatever, bless them. Yeah, so with my childhood, as I mentioned before, I isolated a lot. I didn't like feeling other people's stuff. Because I didn't have to really do much to feel it, okay? I would just be in the room and they would whatever, and it would just, it'd be too much. I, with Clairempath, thank you. They're just showing me this this memory again. They love triggering memories for these videos. It's hilarious. Aww. Okay, so a fine example, I guess, of Clairempathy for myself, okay, when I was about, I don't know, how old would I have been around then? We'll say 20, 21 years old, okay. Excuse me. Around that time, I was doing my hairdressing apprenticeship, okay, and I was doing this in the city, of all places, because why not? But this is where I was accepted into this job, and I took it because the salon I worked at was actually, you know, quite notable within, you know, the Melbourne hairdressing industry and all the rest of it. I didn't know this at the time until a later point when I started working for them. I'm like, oh, okay, there you go. Oh, shit. So, you know, with that kind of job, they put all sorts of expectations on their workers, especially their apprentices, and, you know, anyway, excuse me. So, look, basically what I mean by that is you need to be at a particular level. You get pushed to be a particular level, even as an apprentice, even if you just started, kind of thing, when you're working for companies like that. And, you know, that kind of shit doesn't suit my personality, to be honest, because, you know, I don't do, what's that word? I don't do fake shit, okay? And it's been one of my things with hairdressing, the hairdressing industry, is that I can't actually sit there and do your hair and be fake. Basically, I don't do fake. Yeah. Anyway, so that's why I no longer am a hairdresser in a salon doing that. Anyway, yeah, so I was working at this salon, and it was basically in the middle of the city. And in order for me to get to work, I would catch the train into the city, and then I would walk quite a few blocks up the road to turn into a street, and then walk a fair bit up that street, a couple of blocks, to get to the actual shop, okay, the actual salon. Anyway, so it would take me, let's say, roughly 15 to 20 minutes, thank you, depending on how fast I walked, depending on how busy the streets were and what happened with traffic lights. But yeah, so I would get off the train, and then I would go out to the city street, and I would wait at the traffic lights to get the green man, and then, you know, off I go. And excuse me, the reason why they're triggering this memory, particularly in regards to Clairempathy, is because of that walk up that long road before I even turned. Because once I turned, it was a bit of a quieter street, but the road that I would walk up was one of the busiest in the city. And excuse me. And you know, look, between the hour of 9 and 10 in the morning, it's like psycho busy. It really is. And and I had to be amongst that in order to get to work. So I would start my journey up that road and or street, and it would be that anytime anybody bumped me or brushed past me, anytime they made contact with me, because I would always make the effort to try and be as detached as possible, if I could. But yeah, so anytime anybody touched me as I went past, you know, they just brushed past, or they just kind of, you know, slightly nudge, or whatever. It's a busy street. It's going to happen. Anytime that happens, I would instantly feel and become whatever that person was emotionally. Okay? Excuse me. And this used to piss me off, something chronic, because I just feel like I just want to get to work calmly, to start my day calmly, because I work at a hairdresser's. And anyway, so I would, between the train station and my work, I would literally go through the spectrum of emotions, depending on who had nudged or brushed past me and, you know, tapped or whatever, as they walked past me, kind of thing, or I walked past them, whichever. And look, you know, with people's emotions, they could be angry, they could be sad, they could be flustered, anxious, happy, everything, the whole spectrum. I would go through God knows how many emotions within myself, because of what I was picking up from them. Within myself, I would go through all these emotions before I got to the door of the salon. And sometimes I would get to the door of the salon with, excuse me, with whatever the last person had left on me. Okay? So sometimes I would get to work and I would feel really flustered. Sometimes I'd be angry for no reason. Sometimes I'd feel sad. Sometimes I'd be happy. Sometimes all these things, all these different emotions. And I had to go into work with that. And I had to, what I would do is I would go into work and I would go out to our staff area. I would take a few moments, okay, just to kind of breathe down and, excuse me, just to center myself and get into focus with work, because screw having to pick up on all those energies. And, you know, look, before then, the older I got, the more I realized, holy shit, I'm actually wearing other people's stuff, and it's annoying. It is. So by this point that I was working at this hairdresser's, I did kind of work out a way to detach and, you know, discern what was mine and what wasn't, and that kind of thing. Excuse me. But yeah, I would always make sure that I took about 5 minutes just to kind of do like a breathe down and get people's crap out of me. Okay. Yeah, like it was insane a lot of the times, because I was like, I shouldn't have to feel that stuff. I don't want to feel that stuff. I don't want other people's shit, basically. So I remember at a particular point I started to work out different ways to get to work, to make things a little bit easier for me. And look, with Clairempathy, you don't even need to touch people to feel their shit. Okay, as I mentioned before, you could be on a train carriage or on a bus, you could be in a room, you could be wherever, and you will just feel their shit. okay? But yeah, what was the other thing? There was something else. I can't even remember. I'm detaching. That's okay, it'll come back if it's meant to. But yeah, so look, it's a lot to have to take on, okay, with Clairempathy. Thank you. Okay, there is one that they're bringing to me. Another memory that that they want me to mention, and this was around that time as well with hairdressing. This what I'm speaking of specifically was the Twin Towers incident, okay, the 9/11 Twin Towers incident, okay, and this was probably one of those times where I realized that I was feeling a lot more than my own stuff, okay, as in a larger collective of people, and you know, this kind of really brought it home for me, I guess. Excuse me. Because the morning that it happened and the news broke, you know, I had gotten up to get ready for work, my friends as well, my housemates, we were all getting ready for work, and I've come in, I always make like a hot chocolate, or what we call a Milo here in Australia, the good old Milo. So I was preparing my Milo, and my housemates were watching the news, and they're like, you have to come and see these. So I've gone and watched it, and excuse me. So that's when I saw it happen as it happened, all that stuff, okay? And I don't know how to whew. Can I detach from that, please? Grounding, please. I can feel the emotions. I'm sorry for those of you who were affected personally by that. I'm feeling that for you. Grounding, please. Yeah, look, I won't get too much into it, but but basically we were in shock as we were watching this, and then, you know, time's ticking on, so we had to get ready. I had to get out the door, and had to kind of just pull myself away and detach from it, okay? And then because the train station was very close to my house, so it was just a walk around the corner. I went and got on my train, and I had never been on a quieter train ride in my entire life. No. Excuse me. The train was, the carriage I was on, and the train itself, I guess, was reasonably packed. Okay, there was quite a lot of people in there on the train, but nobody was talking, and they didn't have to, because I was feeling all of that stuff, and that was insane, because I just, oh gosh, I don't want any more. Like, you know, excuse me, because I was feeling it for myself as well. Because I was feeling those emotions for myself, and then I was feeling all of that. I don't want to tap into this one. Sorry, please, I just want to detach from it. Thank you. Because I could see the timeline. It was circling around. It was coming back in. I don't want the emotional stuff from it. Thank you. Yeah, so for myself, it was enough. And then I was feeling everybody else on the train carriage, on the train. And then when I got off the train and started walking up to work, felt it all, okay? You know, look, Clairempathy is much like clairsentience for me. It's amazing and awesome in itself, but it's also freaking chronic and annoying, to say the least. I want to say something else and they're like, no, Chi, that's the word we're going to use. Excuse me. Because it is. I mean, it's incredible what you can do with clairsentience and clairempathy. But in the process of doing those amazing things, you're feeling all this stuff within your physical body clairsentiently and emotionally on a clairempath level. Clairempathically. Okay, thank you. I was going to get there. Yeah, so this was, thank you, they're just letting me know this was a time when a portion of myself was stepping up to do some clearing, okay? Because essentially, with all your abilities, as I said before, you're clearing, okay? You're clearing all sorts of energies from all different timelines, and you know, clairempathy is very much the same, okay? Because you're picking up on all the emotional stuff that is around you, that is coming from others within your space, and then not even. Sometimes, like, you could be on one side of, say, a festival, and you could pick up on someone's emotions from the other side of this whole big ground that you're at, kind of thing. And sometimes you could pick up on somebody's stuff from halfway around the world. You know, it just depends where you're at with your level of clairempathy. But it's all for clearing purposes, okay? It's all to clear those energies. 3655. Excuse me. With all your abilities, is to clear all those energies from all time space realities, okay? And look, at least with the clairempathy side of things, you can feel the emotions that come through from whatever timeline you're working through as well. And sometimes, you know, it's incredibly draining, absolutely, because especially if what you're picking up on is sadness, and, you know, somewhere on this timeline somebody's bawling their eyes out and that's coming through to you, you're going to be doing the same thing. And then you need to discern, as I said before, you need to discern whether that's yours or somebody else's, okay? And you need to detach from it and work through the purge if you need to, and things like that, okay? Excuse me. Now, with clairempathy, as I said before, it's quite broad, particularly with the emotional spectrum. Thank you. At this stage, I will keep it as simplistic as possible. There are other parts to it. Okay, thank you. I will get into that at another point, okay? But yeah, just for now, it's more for you guys to realize that this is what that is, okay? It's an emotional energy that you will be feeling and picking up on, and to, as I said before, I will say it again, to discern whether it's yours or not, okay? And if it's not yours, do what you can to detach from that, okay? So that you can kind of protect yourself a little bit more, so that you're not just an open sponge taking in everyone's stuff, okay? And yeah, thank you. With clearing energies from all time space realities, with clairempathy, again, it's, you know, with that virtual reality cinematic experience, excuse me, again, it brings emotion into that experience, into that moment of that timeline that you are working through, okay? It brings the emotions through, and this is where you need to kind of not really put up a wall, but just make sure that you do detach, okay? So that, you know, particularly if what you're picking up on is angry emotions, okay? Angry emotions, the more extreme ones, excuse me, angry emotions, or sadness and heartache and things like that, especially if they're coming in to whatever timeline that you are clearing. When those emotional energies come in, you need to be able to detach from it, so that you are not ending up angry. Sorry, I'm still going through bone structure things. I didn't ask for it, just because I mentioned it. I'm just feeling more of my arms, because it's not enough that it shoots through my spine to grow, but it grows very slowly in parts apparently. It's okay. I'm detaching. Yeah, so with what you're clearing, discern what's yours and what isn't, okay, so that you don't end up in a mess, basically, emotionally, so that you don't take on those angry energies or that heartache energy when it's not yours, okay. And then, you know, go and take it out on somebody else, particularly with anger. Thank you, volatility. We don't want to put that stuff on anybody else, okay. Thank you, energy, responsibility. Excuse me. So yeah, essentially that's what it is. And I feel like, as I said before, at a later point I'll kind of go into some other stuff to do with clairempathy, a little bit more technical, a little bit more detailed, but at this stage, this is what they want you guys to know, with what you're working with your abilities, okay. And look, sometimes it's hard to discern the difference, especially if you're being pushed through purges and then you're around people and you don't know if the triggers are their stuff or if it's your stuff that you need to actually purge, okay. And this is why isolation is important, okay. Excuse me. This is unbelievable. That's why it's important for you to isolate, especially if you're going through stages of purging, okay. When you know that you're about to come into a purge, it's best to just isolate away from others so that you're not picking up on other people's stuff as well and then having to purge their stuff too, okay. And look, you know, sometimes that just happens, okay. A lot of the times when it does come in, it's because you do need to purge on their behalf as well, which is, it's kind of crap, but it is what it is. We've all been doing it, okay, whether we've been conscious of it or not, okay. You're purging for yourself, you're purging for others, you're releasing those energies out and handing it over to God or, you know, to the ethers, okay. But yeah, so with fine-tuning clairempathy, it's really just about that, okay, knowing the difference between what's yours and what's somebody else's, okay. And look, as I've said before and I've mentioned about your higher self and your team, they will also assist, okay. If you're listening to them and hearing their guidance more and more, they will assist you with that as well, to let you know where you're at with particular emotions that come through to you, okay. All right. Okay guys, I'm going to leave this right there, and if you guys have any questions about this, I'm going to leave it because I'm starting to feel a lot of bone stuff. Okay, and there you go. They need me to go and eat, so I'm going to go and eat something really heavy. Yeah, so if you guys have any questions about this video, about this particular clairsense, please let me know. Send me an email and I can discuss that further with you. Excuse me. Also with the general healing activation, if you haven't got it and you feel guided to get it, please send me an email and request that off me so that I can get that out to you ASAP. And yeah, I hope you guys are doing okay and getting through all right, okay. We will get there, okay. We will all get there through all this muck and this shit. Yeah, better days are coming, okay. Please believe that, okay. I know some of you are going through some really tough shit, okay, but we're getting there. we're getting there. Okay guys, 44.55. Thank you. Okay, I will speak to you guys soon, okay? And I'm sending you all so much love at this time, okay? Mwah! Thank you so much for watching. Bye now.